Here in the Garden in New York City, it was the fourth quarter winning time, and that has been where the Spurs have not folded, but they have not had the winning plays that they had to have in order to get on the board in this series. What a beautiful play here. The action to get Victor Wembanyama looks Stephon Castle, who was brilliant in the first quarter and made big-time plays late here to Wemby. And then De'Aaron Fox, again, up top. Wembanyama just kind of hits it with the length of that remarkably long arm, and it's in. Great ball movement here. Shamet tries to take it to the rim, and there's the length of Wembanyama. 70 blocks now this postseason, the most since another Spur big man, Tim Duncan. It was in 2003. This was probably the biggest shot of the game, given the time and the significance of the three added to the ledger. Wembanyama's got no room to pull. Stephon Castle, who is not their best three-point shooter, but he was clutch there. But then Jalen Brunson, who has worked so hard for all of his shots, 30 for 81 from the floor through three, hits that huge three. And then De'Aaron Fox. This is a max player. This is a guy that's been around, played in a ton of games, and here the most important shot as Fox and the Spurs are on the board. A fourth quarter lead ends in a victory. Alongside Stephen A. Smith and Michael Wilbon once again. Great to be face to face, gentlemen.
Yes,
and this time I got to speak to Ron Harper off air. He says hello. He'll see you in San Antonio.
Yeah.
A little more manageable.
Michael, winning time is when the greats show themselves. San Antonio had not yet. What impressed you about what they did here in the end in this remarkably intense atmosphere to get the victory?
Just what I think you saw that led you to ask that question. Some poise. And down the stretch, made those shots. I'm not counting the Castle shot, which drove my man crazy here as we were watching, getting ready to come out here, Scott. Let's set the shot by Castle aside. The assertiveness, you can even call it aggression if you want to, of Wemby and Castle early in the game. Not settling, forcing the issue. And I thought also the Knicks, they didn't get Karl Anthony Towns involved. 10 shots in 38 minutes, not enough. Right? I mean, and only 2 threes. I don't understand why they didn't go to Cat more. A little more ISO than I thought. But again, you want to give San Antonio credit for some ball movement. This play was enormous. And just that sequence, Scott. But again, made big plays, but I thought poise because we didn't see the unforced errors that we saw in Game 2 in San Antonio.
The atmosphere here, Stephen A., as you suggested the other night, we've rarely seen, well, I shouldn't say I've rarely seen anything quite like this. Just A-listers in all directions, and these guys on the floor felt it. In the end, though, you're dejected. The Knicks will now have to fight harder.
Well, that atmosphere was definitely compromised by somebody who will remain nameless. I'll save that for first take tomorrow morning, but I will tell you this. Give the San Antonio Spurs all the credit in the world. They're a young team. They recognize that, nobody in 164 tries have come back from an 0-3 deficit in a best-of-7 series. They knew what they had to do, and they showed up, and they did it. They didn't beat themselves. Wembanyama came out, was aggressive from opening tap. Stephon Castle was aggressive with his defense from opening tap, making sure that Brunson felt him. You got a bevy of young dudes and young bodies to throw at Jalen Brunson, and I'm shocked to have to say this because he's a superstar. We're so appreciative of what he has done for the New York Knicks organization. We know who Jalen Brunson is and what he represents. But tonight, it looked like he was playing to be an MVP rather than playing to win Game 3. 25 shots in the time that he played. Karl Anthony Towns only gets 10 attempts. 4 in the second half. How does that happen? Josh Hart is hitting shots, in the first half. He only gets 5 shots in the second half. How did that happen? OG Anunoby had 28 points on 13 shots. How do you not find OG Anunoby more, considering the level of accuracy and efficiency that he was showing, that you're not showing if you're Jalen Brunson in this series? You've attempted 81 shots. You're shooting about 34% from the field, about 24% from three-point range. Why in God's name would you continue to shoot when you got cats around you who are capable of making shots? Not to mention the fact that that's what got you here. It wasn't the way that you were playing for 75% of the season. It was when the transition took place after Game 3, with the Atlanta Hawks, and you made Karl Anthony Towns a facilitator. You got off the ball, you got your shot, but he was facilitating and getting other people involved. You got 18 assists. That's it on the 40 shots that you made. That's not something that we are accustomed to seeing the New York Knicks do with this 13-game playoff winning streak that just came to an end tonight. But they were out of character from what we grew accustomed to seeing them be over the last 13 games or so, and that's why they're only up 2-1 now instead of 3-0 and in a position to close it out at the Garden Wednesday night. That is not going to happen. They have to return back to San Antonio after all.
Michael, history tells us that you have to take your lumps. It's an acquired taste. You learn over time. You can go back in the day. It was the Celtics who delayed the Pistons, who delayed the Bulls. You know it well.
Absolutely.
This San Antonio team entered the playoffs with zero playoff experience, but they've showed remarkable resolve. They've showed the ability to win on the road twice in Oklahoma City.
Yep.
And now here in the Garden, down, as Stephen A. said, you dig a 0-3 hole, you're toast. What they showed tonight, does it portend to perhaps a very lengthy series? Maybe it's 2 trips back to San Antonio.
Scott, I completely agree with you. The question is how quickly. We see the evolution. And today, sitting with him, I said, I don't think San Antonio's there. I don't know that
Not
they
in that
can
second quarter.
gather it or gather it or find it or evolve it. What do you do when you're that young and there's nothing previous to draw on? The Knicks have previous. They got, even with Cat wasn't with them, he had previous. All those guys are cast-offs from somewhere else. They have previous experiences to draw from. Spurs didn't, but this is important. I mean, to win this game, the first thing they do in the short term is put the pressure on the Knicks Wednesday night.
No doubt.
Where you don't want to go back with San Antonio having all the momentum and having given home court back to the Spurs. But to your point, what are they learning and how quickly? What is it they're going to feel when they look at this tape tonight and tomorrow morning that they are doing better than they did in games 1 and 2?
Stephen, I'll let you gather your thoughts and bring all of those to the public tomorrow morning. First take, and now you have plenty more to say. I appreciate you staying up late, given the hour of your call time tomorrow for work as always. Stephen A. and Michael, I'll talk to you guys Wednesday evening.
Thank you, Scott.
They were ready for a party, and this building was on 11, absolutely on tilt for about 2 hours before the game started, and then quite a battle. But Victor Wembanyama had him cheering in San Antonio at their watch party as the Spurs made the winning plays in the fourth quarter in yet another close game. They are on the board. It is 2-1 New York. We will have the full cavalcade of guests. You know the drill. Wendy will be with us late. Stephen A. and Michael Wilbon are here. Dylan Harper stops by. Legs is here. Jeremy Lin is in the building. So we have wall-to-wall coverage of this third game of the NBA Finals. And again, the atmosphere here tonight, it's hard to overstate it. Been doing this a long time. Can't remember a feeling outside or coming into the building. You might have been watching inside and you heard Charles say, I got goosebumps. Yeah, the feeling was understood. The president was here as well, and New York was ready to explode, but the Spurs did not blink. Facing all of that pressure, Victor Wembanyama seemed to make it a point to touch the paint. Averaged 8 in the first halves of games 1 and 2. Already got 9 in the first 5 minutes of the game. All right, we can't have this. Wembanyama sort of tosses Brunson aside by the hair, and Brunson doesn't like that. It's chippy. All right, so the Spurs had the lead early, and then New York goes wild in the second. OG Anunoby was spectacular. He's got a clean look from 3. And Timothy Chalamet, he's cheering on New York. They've got the lead, but an and one from Stephon Castle, who was also spectacular in this game, and he's given Karl Anthony Towns an eyeball. Deep pull from Brunson. He hits the 3. Eli and Jeter side by side. I'm telling you, there was just A-list in every direction. But the A-listers tonight were on the floor. There's Wembanyama up top with the alley-oop. Brunson, the ball fake. And there's Josh Hart. He had some clean looks, and he hit a bunch of big-time threes. Great ball movement again. Brunson pulls. Wembanyama stays flat-footed. That's almost 30 feet. And it's a 42-24 second quarter, and New York goes into the locker room with a lead. But the Spurs came out of the locker room ready to fight. They cut the deficit to 1, and this is just an and one that's absurd. As Brunson, yeah, I did that. Yes, you did. Midway through the third, Wemby. All 3 of these, and the Spurs go back in front by 3. Some significant bench minutes and points from Jordan Clarkson as he ties things at 89. And then there's Dylan Harper, the 20-year-old who spent a year at Rutgers, played his high school ball not far from here, showing out on the biggest stage there is. Early fourth, up top, it's Castle to Wembenyama, and the lead is 3. Under 8 to go. The lead is 7. Wembenyama a 3, and it looks like he's going to the line, but hold on, this is a great challenge. Keldon Johnson, you see the shove. Mitchell Robinson goes into Wembenyama. Lucky that neither big man got hurt, but the challenge is successful. That's an offensive foul, no 3. Then back the other way. This was a huge sequence off the miss on Karl Anthony Towns 3. It's 3 the hard way. Chalamet in the building, going nuts to 4-point game. Fox, Wembenyama, again. And again, it's the length of the big man in the paint that they are trying to exploit. And here's that length on display again as Landry Shamet passes on the tree, tries to drive, tries to use the rim as a defender, but it just doesn't matter with his length. He gets the block. It's a 4-point game late. Shot clock winding down. Castle buries the 3, and that makes the lead a bit more comfortable, but only for a moment. As on the other end, it's Brunson. He hits the 3, and now it's back to a 3-point game. De'Aaron Fox, big hit. And Fox pushes the lead to 5. And so now you're in a gotta-have-it situation. And they get it. Anunoby was, again, just brilliant in this game. He buries the 3. Castle goes to the free throw line and does not blink. He had 23. And now you need everything to go right if you're New York. Mikal Bridges, long 3. That's off the back iron, no good. And the Spurs are on the board. They win game 3 by 4. Pleasure to welcome Dylan Harper to the Volkswagen post-game report. Don Bosco is in the building. And as you sat down, I'm always legitimately curious. When your eyes see this box score, I always see going back to old days, like the vets, they're looking at this. What are you looking at on this box score right now?
The biggest thing for me, besides the plus minus, is the opportunity battle. And I feel like the rebounds and offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, and just seeing this places where we can improve at.
Okay.
And I feel like the biggest thing is getting on the boards. They got a few offensive rebounds, and that's the biggest thing we got to clean up.
Talking to Tim Legler, who's on the call here courtside, and he and I are both just amazed at your level of comfort in a stage and a setting and the stakes like this. What explains that for you to make the calm and all of it?
I mean, this is every kid's dream. So I feel like if I come out here and I'm nervous and I'm kind of being antsy and I'm second-guessing myself, I feel like I'm doing a disservice to everyone. So when I get on the floor, I feel like I'm prepared and I feel like I'm ready to go in any situation I'm in.
You let it rip 18 times tonight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What we got here from 3?
1 for 8, yeah. That's I'm never going to shoot that again. So
Exactly. And so that's the kind of thing, like, they felt like all good looks.
I mean, they all felt good at coming out of my hands.
There you go.
They just didn't go in today.
All right, we're burying the lead here. You come into this place tonight, and it was serious. Okay, I've been doing this a long time. I can't remember this many A-listers that went someplace else to see someone else.
Exactly.
How much do you feel that, like who it is?
I think before the game, you got, like, we came out and Jay-Z just walked by me.
Sure.
Like, little things like that.
You say what's up?
No.
Did you make eye contact?
No. I acted like I didn't see him. But, I mean, you could tell even from, like, the national anthem, president here.
Sure.
And I used to do my pregame prayer during it, and, like, I couldn't focus. It was so loud in here. So I feel like that's the environment we're in. I mean, it's best.
And you guys were so good in the first quarter. And you shot, I think you made 10 of your first 13. And immediately you say to everybody who's here, oh, okay, the Spurs came for a ball game. Like, there's no give up or quit, obviously. Yeah. But to start as well as you did, how important was that just to calm any nerves that there might have been down?
It was important. You know, I think the biggest thing for us is when we get off to a good start, we just got to keep the momentum. I feel like there's a couple plays in the second half where we kind of allowed them to stay in the game and allowed them to come back. And I feel like if we clean those up, I mean, I feel like the sky's the limit for us.
We all understand that Wembenyama is the most gifted big outside the arc we have ever seen. But given his length, I mean, it seems to me that the paint touches would be a priority, and they were tonight, weren't they?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was a big thing, just staying in attack mode. And I feel like for him, I mean, he's at his best when he's in the paint. And I think we all know that. And I think you see it from game to game. And I feel like just his ability to get in the paint and our ability as guards just to throw it up there and trust him.
How would you kind of describe and weigh the importance of what Stephon Castle gave this team on both ends of the floor and then obviously at the line late?
I mean, that's just the type of guy he is. He's a winner. I feel like the impact he has on the game is second to none. He guards the best player. He makes big-time plays for us. So, I mean, his impact every game, but especially this game, just kind of uplifted us.
What makes him smile? Because I watch him.
Nothing. I try to get him to smile a little bit. He won't smile for nothing.
When I watch, I'm trying to figure out who has got the most permanent scowl. Is it OG or is it Stephon? Because those guys are both tremendous ball players and they're both deadly serious, which is fine. I mean, this is your job, this is your craft. But that is a guy that seems like he's all the time
super locked in. Yeah. No matter where we're at, he be super locked in.
So when he goes to the line late, zero question or concern that those are. I don't even think he hit rim.
Yeah, I mean, we shoot free throws every day. We all trust him. So,
yeah, but there's a big difference between shooting and an empty gym. And in the garden tonight.
Some people think shooting in an empty gym is harder than shooting in the garden.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I feel like when you're in an empty gym, it's just you and the ball. And I feel like it's countless thoughts going in your head, but yeah.
For you all after this, I don't sense no one's jumping around, no excitement. Is there maybe something learned after that Game 7 with OKC not to allow emotions to get ahead of you? Is there any of that, or am I overthinking it?
No, definitely. I feel like we did get ahead of ourselves a little bit, but ultimately, we came here to get the job done, and the biggest thing for us is just staying locked in and staying focused.
When you and I spoke, what was it, Game 6 in OKC? You told me what your sister Mia said, you can't lose tonight. And then I said, well, what if she says I want to go to the city? What was Mia's message before tonight? What was it?
If you lose this game, I'm going to go to San Antonio and take your dogs.
What? What's that about?
She loves dogs, and I feel like...
Well, you probably love...
I love my dogs.
I have a dog. I love my dog. If someone threatened to take my dog,
I'm playing as hard as I can.
Obviously, you guys are a tight-knit family, and to have that push from within, what's it mean to be close back to where, you grew up and came up and all of that?
It means the world. I mean, this was like her second playoff game she came to, so, I mean, obviously, 45 minutes up the road, so we had to go pull this one out. But I feel like just being close to home, it's second to none. You got all your family, friends, old coaches, just right across the bridge from you. Right on.
That's wonderful to be back here, and you get to keep your dogs. That's great news. Great news. Well, her messages have been well received by Big Brother, so congratulations on a great victory tonight, and we'll see you on Wednesday. All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Dylan Harper and the Spurs grab Game 3 here in Madison Square Garden. So they grabbed the victory after dropping the first 2 at home. It's the second finals in NBA history to feature road wins in each of the first 3 games of the series. 93, the Bulls took the first 2 in Phoenix before Chuck took one in Chicago. MJ eventually got the win in 6. After a brilliant game, Victor Wembanyama asked about becoming New York's newest villain. Is that what he is?
You obviously got Knicks fans very riled up throughout the game. At one point, there was a colorful chant directed towards you. It seems as though you may be New York's newest villain. Is that kind of the ultimate compliment?
I guess I'm nowhere near Trae Young level, though.
Yesterday, Luke told me that he liked playing in road playoff environments, and especially tough ones, because all of that adversity really makes a team come together. Do you feel like your team came together tonight in the face of a rockin' MSG crowd?
Yes. At home, it really feels like playing 6 against 5. And here it feels like playing 5 against 6. I agree with Luke. It really shows what teams are made of.
Back face-to-face with Tim Legler. Great to be with you here after a game that impressed both of us. You and I sitting here as we're waiting to come on talking about resolve, and belief. And San Antonio could come here knowing, yeah, okay, we battled for 2 games. Frankly, we probably should be maybe cosmically 1-1. But that doesn't mean that shows up tonight. What did they show you tonight?
Yeah, I think they were confident from the beginning. And I think when you go back and look at the first 2 games, the messaging, I think, for Mitch Johnson was simple. Look, up 1, 2 minutes to go, they lose game 1. Tie game with the ball inside 15 seconds, they lose game 2. That's the messaging, and it gives you the belief. Remember, guys, we won more than 60 games this year. We could go in there and win a game. We don't have to win 4. We just have to win 1. It still doesn't mean you're going to start out the way they did. The intent was to get into the paint and set the tone in that way with high percentage shots. I thought Victor Wembanyama was incredible in the first quarter because every one of his touches was in the paint. Even the threes he turned down, he found his way to the rim. Stephon Castle was so strong at the start of the game. I think I said it on the air early, first time out. When your 2 best players come out that way, it calms everybody down on the roster. They needed a start like that tonight, and they got it.
Yeah, but that's the start. The second quarter is 42-24 New York, and we have seen them boat race teams all playoffs long on the way to this remarkable win streak. The third quarter, there was a resolve and an intent again from San Antonio that showed itself. What were the keys there?
Sometimes your friend is halftime. Because if that quarter had lasted another 4 minutes, the second quarter, they might have been down 15. Yeah. That's the way the Knicks were rolling. But they had a chance to go in with down 7. You kind of reset it. I was very curious to see the first 6 minutes of the third quarter, what that was going to look like. Were they going to come out and be able to reestablish the way that they wanted to play offensively? And they did. And look, here's one thing that they have figured out through 3 games. They have made Jalen Brunson work for everything he gets. He is dribbling the basketball a lot against elite defenders. They're laterally quick. They're bigger than him. They're stronger. He's obviously a superstar offensive player, but they'll take this level of efficiency from Jalen Brunson. That is top of the whiteboard. Make him work for everything he gets. They did it again for the 3rd consecutive game on Jalen Brunson. You can't do it much better defensively against a guy that good.
I'm doing quick math, and it could be off. I've got 30 for 81 for 3 games from Brunson, and he is having to work very, very hard. After this game, Mike Brown was not thrilled at all with the officials and had this to say.
Mitch Johnson and the Spurs, they won the game tonight. They came and took the game. But I will say this, I never thought I'd be in the NBA Finals and see a team get 24 free throw attempts in the second half to another team's 8. And I don't think I complain much about officials or the fairness when it comes to the free throw attempts. San Antonio is a great team. They're a great team, okay? It's going to lower our odds big time, if we play game 4 and in the second half they get 24 free throw attempts to our 8. And maybe we were fouling, but they fouled too. All the shots we took, we got fouled 4 times. Roughly, for 8 free throw attempts. Again, I don't complain much. I never thought I'd see that in an NBA Finals game. And I saw it tonight. That's tough to overcome when you're playing against a great team.
Legs, you're sitting courtside. How reasonable is that assessment from Coach Brown?
I mean, I'm not seeing a one-way whistle. There's certainly going to be calls that are going to be missed either way. Here's the thing. This is so difficult to officiate because of the amount of physicality that's taking place all over the floor. So sometimes, and I said it on the air in one of the calls, it just seemed like a little selective on a particular play that you see a lot. Very difficult job for these officials. I don't think we were sitting there saying, man, the Knicks are getting the short end of this over and over and over again. Certainly you could point to certain calls throughout the game, but you could do the same thing for San Antonio.
the amount of hands on hips, I'm talking about on the perimeter, but Legs, I feel like this has been a common theme throughout the playoffs in so many different series. The amount of physicality that is being allowed to go, and then to your point, when a whistle is blown and there's a call, you're like, what the hell is that relative to something else? And I agree, you could point to a million other things. It's just, I don't know, man. It's like they let so much go. In my estimation.
Well, you know that they always say, right, they want to let the players decide at this time of year. You don't want to see guys just marching to the foul line all night. But I do think it's something, and you can get control of it early. Like some of the off-ball grabbing, how difficult it is just to get freedom of movement, to run to your spot, to go set a screen. Not to mention the fact, what's taking place on some of the ball handlers. But look, the San Antonio Spurs won this game because they made the biggest shots of the game when they had to. That was the difference. And the tone that they set in the beginning gave their team confidence throughout the night. They weathered that big punch in the second quarter, and then they got down to business in the second half. And they finally took care of business down the stretch because they did not play well in the moments you had to when they were at home.
I think Mike Brown made that point, and I think he also made a point that he hopes bears fruit in the coming games, knowing now, as New York knows, at minimum, this series will have to go back there Saturday night for a Game 5. We'll see if there is subsequent trips to San Antonio. Tim, look forward to talking with you on Wednesday following Game 4.
Appreciate it.
Last time the Knicks lost a game, it was April 23rd. That was the first day of the NFL draft, if you're trying to jog your memory of what else was going on. And it snaps the second longest winning streak in NBA playoff history. New York is still ahead in the series 2-1. Here's Jalen Brunson on what went wrong in this one.
I think we'd turned the ball over a lot, first and foremost, but then also we were fouling a lot and put them at the line about 30 times, and with our live ball turnovers, and I got them out in transition, and they were capitalizing off of those. So we were definitely fouling a lot.
I mean, you're always disappointed when you lose. You always want to step on that court and win. It's always about being in the present, and to be in the position that we were going into halftime, to come out in the third the way we did, and to not find a way to win the game, obviously, is disappointing. It's always going to be disappointing to lose. We're competitors, every single one of us in this locker room. We want to win every single time we step on the floor. So, of course, we're going to be disappointed, but we also are professionals and understand that tomorrow we got to get back to work, get back to the drawing board, and get ready for Game 4.
Vinay Smith, Michael Wilbon with the thoughts